The initial explanation of oMindShow application. When you install this application, you will see a shortcut menu on your smartphone screen with a logo on a white background, and inside it there is a circle in blue and white, and under this logo there is a label that says oMindShow. This app can be installed for Android version 5 above. If you want to use this app, then you have to give permission in Android settings for this app. You can still use this app without permission, but with limited condition, because you cannot access the files in the external storage. The Android settings are as follows. Go to Android settings and look for the application management menu item. For Android version 8 to 11, under this application management menu item there are several sub-menus. You select the application list menu item. For Android versions below 8, to our knowledge the application management menu item only says application and below it the application list, but you can check according to the operating system you have. Then select the oMindShow application, find the application permission menu item, then give permission for all items in the application permission. Then you exit Android settings and return to oMindShow application. Click this application and then a display will appear as you see on this smartphone. You can't do any activity on this main menu before you enter your personal status data. The way is by clicking on the body of the schedule, and a login dialog will appear for entering user ID and password. The user ID and password are oMindShow in lowercase. You have to change this password because all users when they first installed this application using the same password. Keep the changed password at home and do not put it in your smartphone. If user ID and password are correct, then a personal tabulation menu will appear. There are several data items available, but there are only 3 data items which are red, the others are black. This red data item means that it is mandatory while black is optional. The number of mandatory and optional data items depends on the personal status you choose, but the maximum number of required data items is 4. You can try it by changing the personal status. In fact, if you fill in more than the mandatory data items, it will be better because your personal status data will be more complete. For example, if you choose your personal status is a student, then there are only 3 mandatory data items that you will fill in. For example, his name is Tom and his school name is Stanford University. When you save, then you will see a list with the name you entered and the name of the school. You can fill in the same personal status with a different year or a different school name so that it can form a history of your studies in certain stages of your study period. Likewise, you can fill in with a different personal status, so the personal status itself is already different. Because each individual can have some personal status in a certain period, maybe as a person, as a student, teacher, lecturer, or as a member of the organization and so on. You can record the activities of each personal status. If you see that on the right side of this tabulation menu, there are still several other tabulation menus, we will provide other explanations regarding the tabulation menus, but by completing them with some additional data. Now returns to the main menu. If you look at the display on the screen, in the upper left corner there are 3 labels with a white background, meaning you can click these 3 labels, and for the bottom label you can long click. While in the upper right corner there are 3 buttons that have different color backgrounds. You can click the 3 yellow, green, and magenta buttons. The yellow button when clicked will display a list of personal status and time available, while the green button when clicked will display a list of subject categories, and the magenta button when clicked will execute the parameters you entered. If you long click the yellow button, a dialog will appear to record a photo or video, while the green button, if you long click it, the gallery menu will appear. As for the third label with a white background, if you click it, a daily note will appear, and if you long click it will cancel the auto sign in that you set in the settings or continue the auto sign in again. If on the yellow button you long click and then select image capture, a photo recording menu will appear. After you record a photo you can fill in a description for the photo, and after that you can also include it in an album. The album name will be automatically available by the app. After that you can record again for the next photo by clicking the camera button in the upper right corner. Likewise, for video recording you can provide a video description and include it in the album. And if you want to record video again, you can click the camera button in the top right corner. You can search for photos or videos in the gallery by using the description you entered. The album formed is not a folder album but a floating album. So photos or videos that are put in an album remain only one entity, because this is only a definition. You can also create albums from the gallery menu for pre-existing photos or videos. Likewise, your music album can be defined through this gallery menu. As an illustration, for example, you as a student, teacher, or lecturer can use albums as a means to compile subjects or lectures in one album, so that you in the activity menu can fill them with albums and become one sequential learning or teaching chain without having to look for them again in folders. Likewise for other personal statuses that require a sequential appearance, maybe it could be your work, business, and so on. The schedule that you create in the schedule tabulation menu will be integrated with the activity, and after you record the activity you can also send it to other parties if the activity can be shared. And the other party can receive it and convert it into data as it is on the sender. Not only activities but also schedules, personals, assignments, holidays, and animations can be submitted. The delivery medium can be Bluetooth or email or social media. The container folder for sending is oMindShow for sending. Another feature of this application is that in addition to the tagline there is also music with animation, mood expressions, or outpouring of the heart, schedule delivery equipped with attachments or invitations. Photo submissions can be stamped with user ID and smartphone ID, so that the photo sent can be validated by the recipient. Actually, any data received will be visible on the data item created by. Because in this data item there will be information on the maker and the smartphone ID. Sending and receiving data will be very useful during a pandemic like now, of course for data that can be shared and for those who are related and interested without having to always be connected to the internet. At the time of delivery, of course, it must be connected to the internet, but after that it is no longer needed, which makes the internet is needed tentatively and reduce the cost, while the data sent can be viewed offline. Field work that requires sending and receiving data in an integrated record for narration, image, video, music, and documents pose this application to be an alternative choice. For example, journalists, surveyors, or employees who want to hold meetings outside the office can use this application, especially for activities that, for example, require visual recording, first both image or video and then followed by narration. This option is available in this application. You do not need to bring laptop for such activities, but let it do by oMindShow application in your smartphone. Schedule arrangement in graph with complete intensity combined with sound and text reminder in tagline and in line with the activities for variety of personal status, which data can be shared, plus many other features available like photos, videos, music with description, which available for compilation in floating album both for entertaining, learning and teaching, daily notes, music with animation, photo stamped with user ID and device ID for sending, schedule attachments, or invitations. Sorting files in gallery, searching files by name or description are blended and compiled in this app. Below the three labels and buttons are the hours and minutes labels, then the day and date name labels, and below that the battery power and screen status labels. Below the screen status label is a running text which is called as tagline. You can set this tagline on the tagline holiday tabulation menu or schedule tabulation menu or assignment tabulation menu. We will provide a separate explanation for this tagline, mood expression, and animation. This tagline label will change automatically if the hour and minute label changes, but this tagline label can also change when you click on this label. If you long click on this label, all taglines will appear on that day according to the personal status you selected. Below this label is the schedule heading, and below that is the schedule body. When we add the data later, it will be clarified again the sections that appear on the schedule display. For the initial explanation, that's enough. Please follow the other next explanations. Thank you.